So our topic is on applications of linear equation in one variable. Linear equations class can be used to solve many real-world problems such as relations among numbers, age, motion, work, geometry, money, interest, and mixture problems. But because of the time constraint, we will just tackle the three of those word problems. So let us start with the number or the first one, the number or the digit problem involving linear equation. So solving problems involving linear equations require careful patience and organization skills. So to help you organize your solutions, please take note of the following steps in solving word problems. So we have here 6 steps in solving word problems. And the first would be read. So of course, we need to first read and understand the problem. Consider carefully what the given values mean and how they can use to solve the problem. All right? The second and the third would be to represent. So our second step is to represent the unknown as a variable. And the third would be translate the other unknown into an algebraic expressions in terms of the variable used in step 2. So we all know that we're dealing with the word problems. Therefore, there are certain unknown values that needs to be represented as a variable. Okay? And the third would be to translate the other unknown into an algebraic expression in terms of the variable that we used here in step 2. All right. The fourth is to equate or to analyze the problem and then set up the working equation. That's why we have here equate. And for us to be able to set up the working equation, we need to look for clues. Usually, the clue class is in the statement that relates the two quantities. So we need to look for the clues in that given problem. Step 5 is for us to solve. So since we have analyzed already and we have set up the working equation, we will now be able to solve the linear equation. Okay? And the last step is of course to verify or check our answer if it is correct or wrong. Okay? So we have here, I will giving you 2 examples and then later on you have to answer the practice exercises. Okay? So the first example would be the difference of two numbers is 29. Their sum is 115 and we need to find the smaller number. All right. So for us to be guided, I input here or put here the 6 steps. So let us have the first step or the step 1. Read and understand the problem. So we have here on the problem difference of two numbers, meaning to say when we subtract a larger number by a smaller number, the result is 29. All right. Another, the sum is 115. Sum meaning to say if we add two numbers or more numbers, the larger and the smaller number, the sum or the result would be 115. The step 3 would be translate the other unknown. We all know that we have other unknown other than smaller number, which is the larger number. So 115 minus x is our larger number. So this is derived class from the fact that the sum of the larger number and the smaller number is 115. Thus, if you want to know the value of the larger number, we can simply subtract the smaller from the different from the sum which is 115. Okay. Next is the Step 4. So our clue in this problem is the first statement. The difference of two numbers is 29. So meaning to say, larger number minus smaller number is 29. Alright, that's what it says here in the difference of two numbers when we translate it to algebraic equation. And then that would be, since our larger number, we translate it here in our step 3, our larger number is 115 minus x, and our smaller number is x. So now we have set up our working equation, which is 115 minus x is equal to 29. Okay, that's our larger number, 115 minus x, and minus our smaller number, which is x. That's why we derived with this working equation. Okay, since we have already our equation, we can now solve our linear equation. Okay, since we don't have enough space here, let's just solve this on the next slide. To solve the linear equation, again, the given is 115 minus x is equal to 29. The first thing that we need to do, since we have already know how to equate or evaluate linear equations, we need to combine the like terms. Combine the constants and the variable. So here we have 115 combining the like terms, negative x minus x, that's negative 2x. So 115 minus 2x equals 29. Next, by the use of transposition, we know what transposition means, right? When we transfer the other value to the other side, we need to change its sign to its opposite. Okay? So that would be, since our goal here is to isolate the variable, we need to transpose the constant, which is 115, to the right side. So that would be negative 2x, just copy this one, equals 29. As you can see here, it's positive. So when we transpose it, we need to change the sign to its opposite, which is negative. So that would be 29 minus 115. All right. Next is to simplify. Let us simplify this equation. Again, copy negative 2x. 29 minus 115 is negative 86. All right. As you can see, we have a numerical coefficient beside the variable x. So what should we do here for us to be able to isolate x? So we need to use our properties of equalities, which is the multiplication property of, or multiplicative property of equality. Meaning to say, we need to multiply both sides its reciprocal. Okay, the reciprocal of negative 2, or the multiplicative property of negative 2, which is negative 1/2. So since we multiplied here on the left side, we also need to multiply on the right side. Okay, and then just simplify it. What is negative 1/2 times negative 2x? So that would be positive 2 over 2, or 1x, or simply x. Okay? And then here we have, that would be equal to negative 86 times negative 1, that's positive 86 over 2, or simply 43. Okay? So meaning to say, class, our x here is 43. Going back to our word problem, our x there is the smaller number. Do you still remember? So our x is the smaller number, and our larger number is the sum minus the smaller number, which is 43, and that would be equal to 72. So therefore, class, the smaller number is 43 because that is our x, and the larger number here is the difference of this one, which is 72. Okay? Of course, we need to verify if our answer is correct. So let's try to check it. Again, our problem is the difference of two numbers is 29 and their sum is 115. Okay? and we are to find the smaller number. Mom, we just need to find the smaller number. Why do we need to find also the larger number? As I have said earlier, we need to also find the larger number for us to be able to verify our answer. Okay? So that would be the smaller number is 43 and the larger number is 72. So larger number minus smaller number, we have 72 minus 43. Our answer or the difference would be 29. Therefore, this one is correct. Okay? Another larger number plus the smaller number, their sum should be 115 for us to verify it. So 72 plus 43, the sum is 115. Okay? Therefore, our answer of the smaller number 43 is correct. Okay? Let's have another example and then your turn. Okay. We have here, why do we have here? Sorry about this one. So let's continue. Find the three consecutive even numbers whose sum is 138. Okay. So here are our steps again for you to be guided. So our step one is to read and understand the problem. As you can see here, class, in our problem, we have find three consecutive even numbers. What is meant by consecutive even numbers? These are the continuous even numbers. We know that even numbers are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, right? And so on and so forth. So consecutive meaning it should be continuous, like 0 to 4, because we're looking for 3, or 4, 6, 8, 12, 14, 16, and so on, as long as it is continuous or consecutive. Okay? So we have here first even number plus the second even number plus the third. The sum or the result should be 138. Okay? Next, represent our unknown value as a variable. So let us represent our first even number as our x. Since we don't know any of these even numbers, let's just represent the first one for us to be able to solve the second and the third. Alright? So for the step 3, translate the other unknown into the algebraic expression in terms of the variable used in step 2. So since we used here the variable x, we should also use x on the other unknown quantities. Okay? So as I have said earlier, the first three consecutive even numbers are 0, 2, and 4. Is that correct? So that would be let x is the first even number that is pertaining to the 0 or the first one. And our second even number is 2, so we let it as x plus 2 as our second even number. And the third even number would be 4. So that's 0, 2, 4. So our third even number would be x plus 4. Okay? So our fourth step is to analyze the problem and then set up the working equation. Again, we need to look for clues. Anyway, we only have here one sentence, so just find here the clue. Okay? So three consecutive even numbers who is 138. And here is our first even number plus second even number plus third even number is equal to 138. So setting up the working equation, that would be adding all these three. Okay? So since our first even number is x, that would be our first given in our equation, x plus the second even number, which is x plus 2. Okay? I just enclosed it inside a grouping symbol for you to visualize which one is which. Okay? And the third even number is x plus 4. And when we add them, the sum should be 138. So we now already have our working equation. So let us solve the linear equation on the next slide. Again, our given is x plus 2 plus x plus 4 is equal to 138. So again, Our first step here is to combine the like terms. So that would be x plus x is 3x plus the constants 2 and 4 is equal to 6 equals 138. Okay? Then by transposition, for us to isolate the variable, we need to transpose 6 to the other side. That would be 3x equals 138. Changing the sign to its opposite would be negative 6. Okay? Next would be simplify our equation. That would be 3x equals the difference of 138 minus 6 is 132. Okay? Again, we need to isolate the x. So we need to make the coefficient or the numerical coefficient of this one only 1. Okay? For us to only have x. So we need to again use the multiplicative property of equality or to multiply the reciprocal of our numerical coefficients on both sides of the equation. So that would be 1/3 times 3x and then multiply other 1/3 on the other side. And then just simplify it. So we have here 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 1, the denominator here is 1, so that's 3 over 3x or 1x or simply x. Okay? And then equals 132 times 1 is 132 divided by 3, the answer is 44. So we now already have the value for x. So going back to the given, again, our x is our first even number. Okay? So our first even number is 44. And our second even number is x plus 2. So that would be x, 44 plus 2. Of course, it is 46. And the third would be x plus 4. Our x here, just substitute the value of x on this one for you to get the third even number. So 44 plus 4 is equal to 48. So verifying this one, our given is find the three consecutive even numbers whose sum is 138. As you can see here, let us verify first if they are three consecutive even numbers. As you can see, 44, 46, and 48 are consecutive even numbers, right? And we just only need to verify if they are or the sum is 138. So 44 plus 46 plus 48, it should be 138. Sorry about this one. It should be 138. Please do check it or double check it, all right? This is a typo error. Okay, it's now your turn. Answer the given number problems and then show your complete solution. So I have here only two practice exercises for you to answer. Kindly answer these exercises and be ready for our synchronous class. Thank you so much for listening.